One of the biggest gaming franchises ever just got a new entry called Secret of the Mimic, and we're all here to experience this massive W. I'll be going for all 25 trophies to earn the alluring platinum while answering one question only. Why is this game so unforgiving? There are a bunch of story-related trophies, a bunch of miscellaneous ones, and the deadliest
collectibles.
We'll get to them later though. But that's not all. I'm also competing against tons of other players, all racing to be the first in the world to get it. And don't worry, I'm right there with them at the opening gate. Will I become the world's first Secret of the Mimic platinum achiever? Let's find out. We play as a guy called Arnold. We never see our face, so let's just imagine him like the other Arnold I'm aware of. Fazbear Entertainment sends us to another job to retrieve a specific animatronic blueprint which is supposed to be very important. We take our data diver which unlocks basically every door there is and head right out. Before we even get to do anything, we must first make our way inside through the back of the establishment since the front door is completely locked. How unfortunate. As we enter, we trigger a very annoying but surprisingly catchy welcoming song. We will hear it 2 more times I think, so don't worry. Welcome to the main mini hub of this game. We have our main little office where the dispatcher talks to us to give us guidance and a bunch of doors that leads to various places of the establishment. Like in the previous game, Security Breach, the world is semi-open, which means we can explore pretty much anywhere we want. All we need is an access to the locked doors. There are 6 types of permission we acquire just by simply playing the game and reaching these security stations around the place. After we open this cute little present, we acquire the first collectible. There are 25 collectibles total, and when I say they are a pain in the ass to get, I don't mean that lightly. We get our second security upgrade since we start with the first, take a crank, spin that and... First trophy acquired. The main antagonist of the game is the Mimic. We will see many costumes hunting us throughout our journey, but underneath the skin it's the same one Mimic. At least I think that's the case. I haven't really followed the story since Fnaf 6, but I'll try my best. Opening another present on this table, we make our way to the second floor with the help of this elevator that definitely won't break in like a second, and upgrade our data diver to the 3rd level. Not sure why after only like 30 seconds of game time we are already sitting on the 3rd level, but I'm not a dev, so don't ask me. Before we can actually start using the new security level, we must complete this minigame where our task is to make every digit number 1. Light work. Turning this crank grants us the first look at one of the main animatronics in this story. Her name is Jackie and she wants to play. At least that's what she says. It doesn't take her long before turning absolutely crazy trying to kill us. Poor robot here gets completely obliterated. At least it's not us. We escape through the crack in the wall and the chase sequence begins where we basically run for our life. We run through this corridor where her arms literally catch up to us, but for some reason we don't get grabbed. If there is a low reason for this, let me know cause I have no idea. We make our way to the vents where we almost meet our demise, but luckily plot armor does its job and destroys the whole vent system for no reason. Waking up and talking to the lovely dispatcher, we learned that the whole reason why the Mimic was created in the first place was to keep Edwin Murray's son safe and to keep him company. Edwin Murray is the main guy CEO of this whole facility. The next place we are heading to is the showroom, but before that we of course listen to this gorgeous song once again. To get to the showroom we must access the elevator, but unfortunately at this very moment it is stuck. After investigating a little we find out that the reason why it's stuck is this elephant mask. Someone jammed it up, preventing us from progressing. They must have forgotten that we are a technician of some kind, since after inputting the code 0158 and successfully avoiding the animatronic, we can get to work and fix it. During the repair, we are guided by the voice of Fiona, Edwin Murray's wife. She is the second most important character in the story right after Edwin, so keep an eye on her. Let's get to fixing. Stop the elevator, open the hatch, calibrate the weight, input the code, close the hatch, put the elevator down. Oh wow, it works like a charm. Before continuing, we make our way through this small little opening that leads us to another collectible present. Heading down the elevator, I stumble around and I notice this small monitor right here in this office. 4782. I write it down and not even a minute later I input it into some random coded door I find, and surprisingly the code worked. I completely guessed the order, so that's quite nice. As I enter the door I just unlocked, I realize I have been here before like 15 minutes ago. This is the same place we let Jackie loose out of the box. From now on I start to understand that we simply find ourselves in a big maze full of secrets ready to be explored, so I get properly hyped. Finishing the connect the tubes puzzle unlocks the main showroom with a bunch of minigames we must complete for the story progression, but also for a trophy. Not everything is as good as it looks. This whole area is guarded by this guy right here, Big Top. What kind of name even is that? Is he like a rapper, a DJ, or I don't know. The first minigame we complete is simple. Shoot a bunch of targets. For no reason I start shooting randomly, trying to find out if the gun has unlimited ammo, which if you were curious, it does. I managed to shoot Mr. Helpful here in the process, which earned me a trophy. Now the first barrier of this playthrough I faced was my stupidity. After we complete the mentioned minigame, Big Top gets annoyed and starts looking for us. We avoid him by going sneakily past these mannequins without triggering their voice line. I don't really make the connection though, and instead I brute force my way through this section, spawning, dying,
Spawning. Dying.
over and over again. I even stopped for a second and checked some gameplay video to see if the game isn't glitched, since I wasn't having it. In the end, I started to just rush from locker to locker and somehow it worked out alright. Resetting the power unlocks another minigame. This time we have me at the dentist. Having horrible aim isn't always bad. As you can see, it just earned me a trophy for booping the clown's nose. If you look closely enough, you can see just a small tiny bit of this red button that unlocks a secret door behind this clown. Dying a bunch more, we start up the last minigame, and this time it's some target practice once again. Extreme variety, as you can see. I remember reading the trophy list and seeing a trophy for knocking out every thief in the clown minigame, so I go do that as well before moving on. Fnaf games are well known to be working properly and intentionally as they should, so no idea why I got softlocked in this position, but whatever. I reset my game and continue on. Oh wow, a gift! Wait. Where did he go? 4th security level clearance is ours. I head over to the computer and run this moon video game that is extremely weird. It's clunky as hell, but more importantly, every collectible we have collected thus far ends up spawning in the game itself. I don't put much thought into it for now, since I only have about 7 collectibles out of the 25 available. I listen to the first godforsaken audio log I find, and let me tell you, these blue boxes were the bane of my existence in this game. Finding all of these was a pain I can hardly describe. It will probably be a piece of cake to you guys if you use some sort of a guide, but playing this on the release was a different type of beast. We learn about some drama through audio logs between Edwin, Fiona and their son David. Something just doesn't sit right. With the newly acquired security clearance, I find a new collectible and access the roof. There isn't really much going on here besides, well, this guy right here. We start escaping through random offices, even making it under the whole ass floor. Big Top right here goes for one last push to catch us, but even he forgot we are protected by the big plot armor. By the way, we live through the fall while the 5-ton machine ends up being completely decimated for some reason. This sequence ends the chapter and we get another trophy. Back at the office, I take a look at the computer and notice a new program has appeared called parachute.exe. This will be extremely important at the end of the game, so remember it. The next place we are heading to is the theater. Although we can't access it immediately, there is another path we can take through the workshops. Here, I managed to finally get a mail, which is the last main collectible we must collect. Mails, presents, and audio logs. That will be all of them. Back at the workshop, we realized that the only way to actually enter the theater through the other path is by putting on a springlock suit. Strong William Afton vibes right here. I always come. Of course, it won't be that easy. We must first build the animatronic suit by collecting every one of its limbs and even the mask. They are scattered throughout this small area while the mimic looks for us, making our life that much more difficult. Although I had the right intentions, I don't think this is how it's supposed to be done. Here we go, take the elevator down. The mimic doesn't attack us while we are in the suit, which is pretty ironic since it is supposed to be this powerful being no one can get their hands on, but whatever. After solving this puzzle, we take yet another elevator, but this time we go up. Here we are forced to jump out of our suit to build ourselves a path, but instead of doing that, I trigger one of the weirdest and most anticlimactic game overs I ever encountered in a video game. Just have a look for yourself. Not even the sound could be bothered to start playing, like, what is this? Anyways, we build a bridge like we are supposed to, and hey, is that a present? I start looking for a way to get to it, but my smooth brain just can't get it right. Guess I'll have to come back for it later. I find an audio log that drops a complete lore nuke on us. We hear Edwin talk to himself about how he's going to deal with his life now that Fiona is dead. She died during some Fall Fest incident, I'm not sure what that is. This gives crucial context we will need to piece everything together later. We ride up yet another elevator and arrive at the most annoying section in this game. Controlling the springlock suit, we are forced to watch a theater play performed by the foxy puppets. Our only input is our ball cannon that we can shoot at the random targets that appear. The aiming absolutely sucks on controller since it's got this weird speed up mechanic where if you hold down one direction for a small period of time, your aim speeds up exponentially. I'm not a fan, sorry. And second of all, this thing takes like 7 whole minutes. I don't have a problem with slower sections, but are we serious right now? 7 minutes? The balcony we stand on collapses under us and we at least get a trophy for our brief suffering. Waking up opens up what is in my opinion the best chapter of the game. The animatronic that will be trying to kill us stands right in front of us. This nurse doll is absolutely terrifying. She leaves the room and I just sit there not knowing I can actually get out of the suit right now. I finally figure out I'm supposed to be doing something and get to work immediately. She has her own track she rides around, so we have to be careful not to run into Okay, run that again. After inserting a gear into this door, we find out that the nurse doesn't actually care about the fact she is bound to the track below her. She literally just broke off like nothing happened. Just because she has no feet doesn't mean she can't walk, as we can see, obviously. She's probably just built different. Our mission here is to get rid of every compressed trash, since recycling is very important for the health of our planet. Just please, don't Google Taylor Swift's flight map, please. A new security clearance level also awaits us right at the end of this hallway. This is the second to last one. The only one remaining is the executive level, which I think only Edwin has. Acquiring the last security clearance allows us to steal the blueprints that we talked about at the beginning of the game, so we are on a path to victory, if you could call it that. But before all that, we must deal with Miss Nurse right here. We send a bunch of treasure away, which makes her trip over, and we slam a bunch more on her forehead, practically killing her. Spooky time! I was joking, she doesn't go down that easily. She chases right after us as we find ourselves on some running belts. This girl is completely destroyed, I have no idea how she is still holding up. Sneaking our way past her, we press this big red button and wait for the elevator to pick us up. We barely escape, but our joy doesn't last long. The elevator breaks down and only we are worthy enough to fix it. Here we go. Brake, calibrate, open the door, open the hatch, enter the code, done. Another trophy in the back. We are reminded that we can never catch a break in this game as the silly nurse jumps on top of our elevator roof and starts beating down on us. We overclock the elevator just a little bit and slam her ass on the top, finally ending the life of another one of our ops. This gets us a trophy which signals that violence is always the right choice. Back at our little office, the dispatcher starts to get a little bit quirky, talking about how something bad is going to happen to us. Perhaps he's not all that he seems to be and doesn't actually want to help us. Maybe someone is mimicking being our dispatcher. No, definitely not. We start making our way to the last security clearance we need through a warehouse. The new animatronic we encounter is Chica. She gained a little bit of weight since the ultimate custom night days, but that is fine by me if you know what I mean. If I'm not mistaken, this is apparently the very first Chica design there ever was. The Fnaf lore isn't very clear like at all, but this seems to be the case here. Back to the game, we collect 3 different puzzle pieces and start solving. These puzzles are low-key fun, so I don't mind doing them so many times. Unfortunately, I'm not fast enough and get busted. Some of these jump scare sounds are the worst thing I ever heard in my life, honestly. More annoying than the Teams notification, dare I say. As I'm about to leave this warehouse section, I find out about this hidden carnival minigame up top. This time I managed to even get to the secret area that is located behind it. What I find here is a present with yet another collectible, which is a W. To properly proceed, we must solve yet another puzzle where we build ourselves a bridge with a bunch of random obstacles. My eagle eye catches another present though, so we grab that first. The puzzle isn't necessarily difficult, but my god is it slow. Just about every movement with our magnetic crane takes longer than it took King Charles to get the crown. The tiger we just saw is David's favorite character. Again, David is the son of Edwin and Fiona. He plays a big role in the secret ending of the game we will be getting to later on. Opening this huge gate reveals the last carnival minigame we can find. Don't forget, we need to get the high score on every one of these games for a trophy. As I approach closer to the playing table, I realize that there is no gun. I reload the game in hopes of it spawning in, but that doesn't lead to anything. I frantically start looking around in hopes of finding one, but to no avail. The only solution to our problem is to run all the way back to the carnival in the showroom and take a gun from there all the way here. This is the first playthrough and they expect me to remember that? Yeah, right. Instead of getting lost all over the place, I decide to just continue on, which leads me to this part with a bunch of cubicles. This is a place of nightmares for an impatient player like me. Chica is out here strolling around in her skates, but she is not the only threat. We also have a million cupcakes at just about every corner waiting to make a sound. This sound triggers Chica to check the area out, and you can probably guess what happens next. There are also a lot of these mailboxes here, which after reading them reveal some sort of a code. This code is used for this door located at the beginning right here. I don't have enough clues yet to figure it out, so I move on with the intention of coming back and solving it. Hopefully I don't forget. I grab every other mail I can find, die a bunch, and make my way upstairs. The door shuts right after we enter, but that doesn't concern us as we watch some ads on the projector. You see, there are these tapes I haven't mentioned, and that is because of the fact that no trophy is tied to them. They probably provide crucial lore to the overall Five Nights at Freddy's story, but I prefer to just watch Doko instead. The final executive security clearance is located right here, so without any time wasting, I complete the digit puzzle and acquire it. At the top of this staircase, we find Edwin's own office. We play an audio log that reveals that there is not only M1, which means Mimic 1, but also M2, Mimic 2. There were 2 mimics this whole time. He demands that no one gets a hold of these blueprints, not even the Fazbear Entertainment. As the story starts to reveal itself in the Fnaf fashion, we complete our objective by inserting our data diver inside this computer and download the Mimic blueprints. Chica here almost gets to us, but we are faster this time. We escape through a vent and find another audio log where Edwin warns the personnel about some mysterious tunnel. It doesn't take us long to find out what he was talking about, since after riding the elevator we end up in the back rooms. The tiger we saw earlier makes another grandiose appearance. We must make our way through here by only following the light, since if we were to stand in the dark for a little longer than we should, we get jump scared. We hear a lot of children's laugh and some dialogue that is linked to Edwin and David. It seems to be that this Tiger Rock suit is possessed by David himself or something like that. It's complicated. But that would mean he is also dead. Pretty sad if you think about it, since Fiona is dead as well, but let's continue to the finish line. After hopping from one light to the other, we find this cute baby star, which is yet another source of light to keep us safe. We get rid of it quickly though, since we need to use it to open this door that leads us to another section of the tunnel where a big secret is hidden. Logically, I had no idea that this was the case at first, but there is a secret audio log that is hidden along the wall to the right. We need to get every audio log for this trophy right here, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Like I said, I had no idea that this was the case, so instead I just continued on dying around 50 times doing so. Placing the last baby star in its place opens the door we can use to finally escape the Tiger Rock, so we do just that. With the blueprint schematics at our disposal, we have successfully completed our job and can report back to the dispatch. dispatch. We are given one last simple task. Leave the data diver with the schematics in it in the machine that stores items and sends them to whoever. Anybody with the IQ above 80 realizes by now that the dispatcher is actually the mimic, and if we proceed, something bad is going to happen. I contemplate on my decision a little while, but then I realize, hey, let's knock off the bad ending first, since I remember reading that each ending has its own respective trophy. I put back the data diver like I was told to do and enter my vehicle. We ride home and definitely nothing bad happens to us. The mimic ends up taking us out and stuffing us into a suit, classic Five Nights at Freddy's style. Safe to say this was the bad ending, so let's run it back, but this time run the parachute program I mentioned a little while ago that opens up a hidden escape for us to go through. The mimic gets real pissy and drops the whole act of being the dispatcher, talking about how we could fix things and how we won't survive what's coming. Must have forgotten who I really am. Making our way to these dusty vents, we end up back here, which is the beginning of the game where that not annoying song plays. We reset it once more and oh no. Not this guy again. Wasn't he dead like 3 hours ago? What's up with that? We have to keep pulling these levers so we don't get stuck and presumably eaten. I find it quite hilarious how after entering a loading sequence the audio just completely cuts off without any fade out or anything, just straight up, yep, stop it. It looks like we're at the backstage of some sort, judging by the tools laying around and especially the enormous Freddy Fazbear mask. Who builds this stuff and how much are they getting paid? Sign me up. My assumptions prove to be correct as we step through the curtains and reveal some sort of a prototype Freddy Fazbear pizzeria. The tiles, the layout, even the animatronics on the stage. This definitely connects to the pizzeria in one way or another. Also, cool fact, this is the exact suit we get stuffed into in the bad ending we saw a little while ago. I turn on the lights and we awaken the main man, M2. He starts looking for us immediately. He is way more vicious from now on, moving way faster than in the previous encounters. Spinning these crank reels, a new spring-lock suit we can enter and drain some electricity from the security room by standing in these lights. Our mission is to completely drain the power so we can enter the security room, basically mirroring the first Fnaf games but in reverse, which is pretty cool, I must admit. We must do this exact thing with 4 different suits. Even Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie make an appearance, at least I think this is what they are. Doko, we need you again, buddy. After the power gets overwhelmed, we are granted the access to the room where another plot twist happens. This computer right here is Fiona, Edwin's wife, the first mimic. She has been this computer the whole time while mimicking the dispatch guy and even during the various chases we had during the game, which leads me to believe that the mimic that was after us all along wasn't Fiona but M2. The endoskeleton is M2 while the computer is Fiona. Crazy stuff. I mean, whatever. Fiona here tells us that all she wants is for M2 to be fixed, and the only person for that job is Edwin, who is supposedly back home. Luckily, their home is just one minecart away, so let's go get to him. But before that, also grab ourselves a trophy. After the ride, we walk up these stairs and open the door to the house. I have no idea how, but M2 is already here roaming the place, so we better be careful. Our objective is to collect 5 different tapes we play on the big screen to learn even more about the story, but more importantly, the code for the door upstairs that we have to piece together. We are given one number right at the end of each tape, so write it down, students. The tapes were recorded during David's birthday party. One of the tapes outright confirms that at some point Fiona was controlling the endoskeleton. Not M2. She must have been uploaded to the computer by Edwin later at some point. The code we enter is 65190, which turns out to be correct as we enter Edwin's very own office. Edwin is in fact missing, just like his office wall, cause what could even happen here, like what? The audio log we file makes everything even more confusing. These sentences are uttered by M2, not Edwin, which means M2 has just completely lost it by this point, mimicking not only David, but Edwin and sometimes even Fiona as well. Edwin supposedly died here, as we can hear him during the audio log begging for help. We access a hidden surveillance room where we run some program and get interrupted by M2. We run for our life, once again going under these barrels while everything around us catches on fire, which seems to be the case for every major event in the franchise. This game being no exception, of course. The mimic is extremely relentless and won't give up that easily. We even encounter these small prototypes which are supposed to be some earlier versions of the mimic. I don't know anymore. They're pretty cute though, so at least they have that going for them. I mean, just look at them running. How adorable. We get in the van and ride off with the data diver in our possession. Somehow, the mimic manages to hang on to our vehicle and we end up crashing and rolling over. We die in this ending as well, which means no happy ending? Unless. That's right, we have one more shot at seeing a good ending, since there is a secret one waiting just for us. A new option appears in the menu in the form of a new game plus, so without further questions I boot it up, this time exploring literally every corner I find. We are still missing a lot of trophies, like for example the one for collectibles and even some secret ones I have no idea how to unlock. It doesn't take me long before I find something I had missed, since after exiting our car, right next to this gate is a mailbox. Even though we are on new game plus and keep every collectible we have acquired up until this point, our data diver gets reset to security clearance level 1, so we have to update it all over again. The game is about 5 hours long, so that should not give us any trouble. Right at the beginning, in our office we can see a completely new present appear. After opening it, we get the Tiger Rock plushie, which will be crucial in the last secret ending we are going for. He is David's favorite character after all. I find a door I hadn't unlocked previously after entering this code right here, but I don't have the security clearance needed, so I'll have to come back later. Basically, what we are trying to do right now is get our clearance back to the executive level and collect everything along the way. This time, during the carnival game, I remembered to squeeze through the clown's teeth and into the secret door I couldn't access previously. What we find here is a basic encounter in a tight space, but nothing too fancy. After walking up the stairs, I unlock a trophy for visiting the Storytime showroom, which means we are closer to our sweet goal. There isn't much going on besides an audio log I miss, this guy right here, and the collectible plushie that ruined my next 5 hours of playtime. No, I'm not kidding. I also get stuck in the wall here, making me reset and do this all over again just for the fun of it. The reason why this collectible was so painful to me was because I never actually managed to solve it in the machine. You see, with every collectible you get, you have to retrieve it for it to count for the trophy and even the minigame. Instead, I just left it on the ground, progressed as usual, and it literally just despawned. Me being me, I forget about this even happening, which would prove to be a huge mistake later on. I made it through the whole game again, back to the carnival game I didn't play on my first run through if you remember, since I didn't have the gun for it, and after finishing it, the trophy didn't unlock. I beat the high score like I was supposed to do, but nothing. I guess I'll have to come back and try again another time. At least I got a collectible, which is nice. Piecing together every mail in the office provides us with the code for the door right here, which unlocks the trophy for visiting David's birthday party room. I think this is the same room we see in the tapes, but since this is a Fnaf game, you can never be too sure. During the Tiger Rock sequence, I run around a bunch and find out about the secret audio log I mentioned previously. A lot of people got stuck just because they couldn't find it, so I'm glad I did. While exploring the establishment with every clearance there is, I find a door where I enter the code 8062, which I had written down on my notes, not exactly knowing the origin, but that is fine by me. This leads us down into yet another secret location where we must complete this puzzle. A lot of pieces are missing, so we must find them first. This moon guy right here is our main enemy here, and we must avoid him at all times. When I was playing the game normally, I stumbled upon his blueprints, but I never saw him in the game, which was weird, but he was right here all along waiting for me. He is really easy to avoid since he radiates this strong light and pretty much every corner here is dark. Not the smartest idea from our moon guy here. After finishing the puzzle, we get the trophy, pleasant dreams, and a collectible, which is David's ball. He's like 7, please be chill here. We have only 5 trophies left until the platinum, and almost all of them are tied to collectibles besides this one. I have to score a high score in every carnival game, but I decided to do it later, which means I have no clear goal of destination. I have to simply run around the whole game hoping I find something since there are no guides out when I was playing. It didn't help that it felt like every place I went I had already visited before, which meant I was spinning in circles. After about an hour of burning calories, I managed to find the last text log, which unlocked my first collectible trophy. As I was saying, with the absence of guides, I managed to even become the first person on PSN profiles to actually get it, which is pretty funny. After I located a bunch of other collectibles, I just couldn't take it anymore and went ahead to look quickly through my footage only to realize the mistake I had made. I completely forgot about the baby star plushie that despawned and basically never counted. I went ahead and got it for real this time, which means I get a trophy and can finally go and complete the moon.exe program on our computer. This program is a simple exploring minigame where we use the 25 collectibles we acquired to solve different situations. For example here, there's a crocodile in our way and we have to get rid of them. The only logical solution to our problem is of course giving him a drink of this mysterious soup which literally kills him. Yeah, the crocodile is dead now and we can move on safely. We give the Freddy mask a bow tie, Foxy's mask a new eye, and stitch up the bunny mask. For this huge accomplishment, this lady right here, which is supposed to represent Fiona, gives us an owl mask, which is supposed to be David. With our new mask, we can enter this cave right here and start fixing up the moon statue. His arm is located right here in this crystal, his head can be found in this lake over here, and his other limb is located in a chest we opened by turning left, right, right, left. After we rebuild him, we get teleported to what seems to be the MCM, which is the establishment we are currently in. Here, we have to deal with Jackie, Big Top, Nurse, and Chica all over again, just like in the main game. After we are successful, the sun appears and upgrades our data diver with the so-called glitched permission. Our objective now is to make it all the way to the end of the game again. As soon as we enter the second story of Edwin's house, we can see a bunch of doors we couldn't open previously. In each door there is a tape we have to insert into one of these 6 cassette players. There are also some audio logs scattered throughout that we listen to for some story tidbits, but more importantly a trophy. After every tape has been inserted, a secret vent opens. After we crawl through it, we arrive at David's very own room. We see a tiger paw symbol which indicates that the Tiger Rock plushie we grabbed earlier is missing. We go ahead and get it, place it on the pedestal and start listening. We hear Edwin and Fiona putting David to sleep by reading him a book. M2, which mimics David, comes out of the closet as he hears his favorite story but switches back into being a killer when we stop. We must put the correct order of the story we see on this glass in the back if we don't want to die. Each time we press a button, we can see M2 getting confused between what he's supposed to be doing and mimicking. After doing this 4 times in a row, M2 gets confused so much he's stunned and we are able to insert our data diver into his chest and fix him back to his original David form. This is what Fiona wanted all along from Edwin, fix M2. We do it instead of him, but I can still say that this was a massive accomplishment for the unemployed. Although, knowing this franchise, the canon ending is probably the one where you get brutally assaulted and die in a fire. 2 trophies remaining, I ran the whole game back again for the 3rd time. This time focusing on completing this trophy right here that wants me to score all high scores in the carnival games. The first 3 games are located here in this big top section, but we knew that already. We can find the next one after riding this bus elevator to the top, and the last one we are also familiar with. It's the one where you have to bring your own gun since none is provided to you directly. Praying that the trophy unlocks this time as I finish my shooting spree, and yes it did, thankfully. I'm guessing that the reason why I didn't pop the last time is because I forgot to do both of these 2 carnival games in the same playthrough. I did the teeth one on my first and the shooting one on my second. Very silly mistake, but what can you do? Now for the last trophy we need to find every audio log. Where should I look, you might wonder? Well, literally everywhere. There is no indication of where these stupid audio logs are, so your best bet would be to simply wait for a guide. I spent the next 4.5 hours simply looking around MCM and even starting my 4th playthrough of the game. I even messaged the person who got the platinum trophy first. Yeah, I was that desperate. He was really nice, but he only pointed me towards the secret audio log I had already found, so I had to go off of my intuition anyways. I think I searched so much I know this place better than my own home. After painful 4.5 hours of playtime, as I was about to finish my 5th playthrough, I noticed this door right here tucked away in the corner at the end of the game. As I opened the door, a spark of life finally entered my soul once again when I saw the audio log just sitting there. As soon as I press the play button, the trophy finally pops and I can let out a huge sigh. The platinum is finally mine. Now we know I wasn't the first guy to do it, since I already mentioned I messaged the fastest guy, but what place did I get? That's embarrassing. Maybe next time I'll be the first. See you there.